Hi guys, Drone Emotion here, and today we're back here once again with some breaking news for all of you regarding the Mavic 3, and that is because the actual photos of the Mavic 3 have been leaked of the actual product. These images are not rendered. This is the actual drone. These are the images that we have been waiting for over 3 years. They're finally here, and they are over 4 images, and in today's video we're going to be sharing them with you and talking about the specs of this drone, from the flight time to the resolution for both image, video, and a whole lot more info you're not going to want to miss out on. Today's video is going to be probably the most exciting one we've had in the history of the channel. But before we get started with today's video, if you're new to the channel, welcome here, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with any updates regarding any upcoming drone, whether it is from DJI with the Mavic 3 and with the Mini 3 that also should be coming soon, and also from Autel with the Evo Nano, the Evo Lite, or any other upcoming drone. Guys, you know this is the place to come for all of those updates. And also, we're currently in the road to 10,000 subscribers, and right now we're less than 3,000 subscribers away from reaching that goal. So if you're watching today's video and you're not subscribed yet, well, I invite you to go ahead and join the Drone Emotion family so you can help us reach that goal, which we're really not that far away from anymore. So without any much further ado, why don't we just go ahead and get started with today's video that is going to be very exciting. Well, the past few days have been fully packed with leaks regarding the Mavic 3, from the manual to the actual specs to images of the drone flying to renders. I mean, we've had tons of information, but what we had not had yet were the actual photos of the Mavic 3. And well, we have a whole wide variety of images for all of you, from the drone flying, from the drone in a standstill, from on the launching pad. We have a lot of images to go through in today's video. Now, these images were just leaked today, just a few hours ago, so these news are fresh out of the oven, guys. You're getting the latest information in today's video. So why don't we just go ahead and get started with our first image, which is of the DJI Mavic 3 flying, right here on the screen, guys. So there we have that first image, and there we can see the Mavic 3 actually flying. Now it looks really good. I mean, we've showed with you some renders, and I mean, they were 1:1 in the ratio. Obviously the color was not 1:1, but the ratios were there, and right here we can see that. I mean, we can see the Mavic 3 flying. It looks quite similar in size to the Mavic 2 Pro, probably a bit smaller if you ask me, although it is going to be a bit heavier. This drone is going to be coming at a weight of 920 grams. So that means this is bad news for Europe, because this means that this drone is going to be most likely classified as a C2 class drone. So something to keep an eye on that. But for the rest of us, I think the weight is not really a big issue. I think, considering what it has to offer, I mean, this drone is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, that was our first image of the actual Mavic 3 flying. For everyone out there wondering if the Mavic 3 was actually ready to go to be launched, well, this is a proof that the Mavic 3 is completely finalized. It is flying and it is ready to go. Now, that was our first image of the Mavic 3 flying, and we still have a lot more images to go through. So now, why don't we just go ahead and take a look at our second image. Now, this is the Mavic 3 charging, and it is a back view of the drone right here on the screen, guys. So there we have it. There is the DJI Mavic 3. First thing that we see is that colorway, a bit darker shade than what we have with the Mavic Air 2. Although it's kind of a similar shade, it's a bit darker, not as dark as what we have with the Mavic 2 Pro. It's just a bit lighter, but I think that the color looks pretty good. And there you can clearly see the back end of the drone, and you can see that it is charging, and that is because this drone is actually going to support USB-C Type-C charging. So that is great news. The fact that we're going to be able to charge the drone just like what we were able to do with the DJI Spark is something that really excites me, because this means that you can literally charge your drone on the go, and that's something that comes in real handy. Now we can also see right there the props of the drone with that orange tip, just like what we find with the Mavic Air 2 and all recent DJI drones. Now these props will be low noise propellers, so no need to be worried about that. Now something that I've seen a lot of concerns about is the fact that this drone has no side sensors, and that is correct. Apparently it doesn't, but if you see closely right under the prop, you're gonna be noticing there are two corner sensors. Now DJI has decided to remove the side sensors in order to remove and save some weight, and we now have those corner sensors that should be giving us and providing us with 360-degree obstacle avoidance, and that is because we also have those upward obstacle avoidance in addition to the front ones, which we're going to be taking a look at that in just a second. So that is what we have so far. That is the second image that we have of the Mavic 3. Now unfortunately we don't see the Mavic 3 Pro branding, and that is because it has been hidden with tape in order to kind of camouflage this drone and keep it under the cover, but unfortunately that is not the case anymore. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our third image of the Mavic 3, which is a really good one. So this is probably the most high quality image that we've gotten so far, the Mavic 3, and it actually reveals absolutely everything. So let's go ahead and take a look at that image right here on the screen. So there we have that third image, and this is probably the most revealing one we've had. Now the first thing that we see is the shape of the drone. It looks like a more strong Mavic 2 Pro. It looks really good. Now the shape of the drone is pretty much what we've been sharing with you for the past 6 months, so the design is not a surprise to us. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the design. I was hoping for a more innovative design and a whole lot more innovation, but it looks like what DJI has decided to do with the Mavic 3 design is really not a whole revolution, rather than just an evolution. So let me know what you guys think of the design of the drone down in the comment section down below. I think it's not bad. It definitely looks quite good, and in fact it actually is a bit similar to what we have with the Mavic Air 2 and Air 2s. Now you will notice there are only two front obstacle avoidance sensors in the front, so that is quite interesting, and you can see that they're kind of situated right on the corners of the nose of the drone. Now you're also going to be noticing a lot of air vents all throughout the aircraft, and that is because this drone is going to be having a very powerful camera, and in order to cool all of that processing power, they're going to be needing to have a lot of air vents, and that is why we see that air scoop right in the front, which looks real nice. Also on the back left of the drone we see another air scoop right there. Now we see our LED lights. It looks like those are going to be staying the same on the arms of the drone. And let's talk about the camera. That's what everyone wants to know about. What do we have right there? Well, that is a dual setup camera. Now in the bottom we're gonna be finding ourselves with a micro four thirds sensor, which is absolutely amazing. And then on the top we have our telephoto, which is going to be giving us a 7x optical zoom and a 28x hybrid zoom. That is absolutely mind-blowing. What can I tell you guys? And well, what about the resolution for images? Well, we're gonna be having 20 megapixel images, which, if you ask me, I'm not really a big fan of that. I was expecting to see a much better improvement, but it looks like DJI has not been able to do so, and they are sticking with those 20 megapixel images, which are not really that impressive in today's drones. So I think that is a bit disappointing. Let me know what you guys think of that. Were you expecting for a bit more? I was actually expecting for a bit more, but it looks like that's what we're gonna be having to deal with. Now, what about resolution? Well, we have a 5.2K video resolution, which I was expecting for more, but it looks like DJI has decided to stick with that 5.2K resolution. It looks like they did not even attempt to do 6K and not even mention 8K. Now, for me, I believe that the size of the sensor is more important than the resolution, and even though it sounds good on paper, it's actually going to be better to have a much bigger sensor than a higher resolution. So I think that 5.2K is going to be more than enough for more professional content creators out there. So that was our third image of the Mavic 3. Definitely that camera looks really good and it's going to be giving us some impressive footage. And we can also see the Hasselblad branding on the left, and we're also going to be having a variable aperture for everyone out there wondering. Well, variable aperture is going to be happening with this Mavic 3. It's not going to be fixed, so don't need to worry about that. In fact, we're going to be having an aperture ranging from f2.8 to f11. So it looks like the aperture is going to be variable. No need to worry and panic about that. That's also some really good news. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our last image that we have, and this is the Mavic 3 on its launch pad ready to take off. So let's go ahead and take a look at that image, guys. So there we have it. That is the last image that we have so far of the Mavic 3, and right there we can see that this drone is ready to take off. It looks really good on that launch pad, and I am very excited for this new drone from DJI. Now, I've been receiving a lot of questions about what will the flight time be. Well, the flight time is confirmed. It will be 46 minutes, which is absolutely incredible and mind-blowing to think that this drone is going to be having a flight time of 46 minutes. Now, that is on paper. What will the actual flight time be? Well, it most likely be right around 35 to 40 minutes at the most. But the fact that we're getting that much flight time on a drone this size and with this size sensor is just absolutely mind-blowing. So those are all the pictures that we have so far of the Mavic 3. If you have any more questions or you have any more information that you would like to see, let me know in the comment section down below. What other things do you want to know of the Mavic 3? Because we're gonna be pumping a lot of content on the Mavic 3 in the upcoming days, and we should be having even more information coming out. But that is everything that we know and that we have so far. Those are the 4 real images of the Mavic 3, and this drone is coming very soon. If you want to know the release date and pricing, we have done a video in the channel talking about that as well. So that is going to be a wrap for today's video. Hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you tomorrow with a brand new video. This is Drone Emotion, signing out.